So, Hogwarts Legacy came out to anyone that pre-ordered the game, and the discussion around it has been completely normal and not absolutely cancerous at all. I swear. But let's just say, hypothetically, that the discussion around the game wasn't as great as I'm making it out to seem. What would that kind of look like? Well, maybe it might look like a streamer saying on stream potentially that they're so afraid to play the game because of the reaction they might get from their audience, and that's a well-known thing that people are actively avoiding playing the game because of the reactions they'll get. That isn't happening, I swear.
Is because we know that it's not worth it to get fucking bullied endlessly and called transphobic endlessly.
Or that Twitch streamers are getting so much hate for playing the game in their chat that they're breaking down and crying about it. That isn't happening either, I swear. Just hypothetical.
Barely into the second combat here, and every time I look at chat, it's just the conversation is just like
maybe we can do like
bothering me.
Be right back, like a little break or something.
You can take a break if you want.
Or let's just say hypothetically, there's a hypothetical site where you could hypothetically find anyone who's played the game and send them a hypothetical hate mob. Hypothetically. But yes, the discussion around Hogwarts Legacy coming out has been so awful it makes the pineapple on pizza debate look civil. And it's borderline dystopian if you really think about it. Because the reason everyone is getting so upset, if you think about it for more than 2 seconds, is really, really stupid. Because most of the time when these situations happen, it's more so that the game publisher has done something to piss a bunch of people off, but in this case, it's just the creator of the universe itself that is setting everybody off, which makes zero sense whatsoever. Because really, people are just upset that JK Rowling made the Harry Potter universe in which this game takes place. I legitimately can't think of another situation where someone has created something and something that is multiple steps removed from that is kind of based in that similar vein that that person created is getting hate as a proxy due to it. Just because the game takes place in the Harry Potter universe that JK Rowling made, it's kind of being lumped in with her, which is odd, just to be outright and say it. And if you've been living under a rock or just aren't terminally online, why are people upset? Well, it's because JK Rowling is transphobic. That's pretty known. She doesn't really like trans people that much. And this game, Hogwarts Legacy, which takes place in the Harry Potter universe, as you can probably guess, is kind of being lumped in with her and being thrown under the bus to kind of prove a point, maybe? I'm not really sure. The outrage is really ridiculous. And as a result of this, many streamers have had to pick a side on whether they've supported or will support the game, or whether they're not even going to touch the game with a 10-foot pole. I think majority of streamers would like to play the game, at least that's the impression I'm getting, but just physically can't because they know the reaction from their audience will legitimately probably make them not ever want to stream ever again. Because no one wants to get labeled with the tag of transphobe. No one wants to get known as the one guy who played the transphobic game. No streamer is willing to put the reputation on the line like that. And while there is a very big vocal group of people out there who are saying screw anyone that is mad at anyone playing this game, it's still being overtaken by the amount of people who are just upset and see red whenever they hear Harry Potter really in general. The response to this game has been building up and building up, and I don't even think it's reached its apex yet. I think this is just the beginning of something even bigger that's going to happen when the full game releases. And the reason I'm making this video in the first place is because I actually saw that Hassan clip and the other clips on Twitter talking about how volatile the discussion and reaction has been to the game. And in seeing that, I'm like sitting there going, wow, this is really fucked up. I need to talk about it. Because how crazy is it that people are avoiding playing a video game because of the potential hate that they'll get from their audience? that legitimately sounds like a Black Mirror episode. You know, doing anything that your audience wants, having your audience dictate every single thing you do because you're so petrified that they'll dislike you in any way. You have just waves of people getting upset and dogpiling on anyone that even supports the game in any sense of the word. If you bring up the game, it's almost as if you're summoning some kind of demon to come and take your soul, because that's the reactions people are getting. You can talk about it for a couple seconds and people want to come to your house and kill you, wish death upon your whole family tree and the rest of your bloodline just because you want to play a Harry Potter game. It's crazy. And what's even crazier is that a lot of these streamers are bending to the knee and giving these crazy sects of their audience this huge amount of power, when that's probably the worst play that we could ever do, that you could ever do to anyone who's acting crazy like this. But besides the absolute craziness that's arising from this, how far could this go? What's the next big thing that's gonna happen like this, where people will completely avoid it just because of a reaction that they might get from their audience? And is this gonna be a growing trend? That I can't really answer, but maybe we could get an idea as the game continues to release, and we'll see more reactions as the game comes out, obviously. Because if you really think about it, it's starting to turn into some like social credit stuff on some Republic of China type beat, you know? If you've played Hogwarts Legacy, that's negative points to your social credit score, go into the dungeon. And if you are rallying against the game, saying, oh, don't play this game, this is ooky spooky, you are the spotlight best creator of the day. You get positive social credit. And the reactions from streamers are kind of reinforcing this because they're just avoiding the game in general to avoid the reaction. Of course, there are streamers who are offsetting this reaction by actually playing the game, but there is a large number of streamers who are avoiding the game just to seem better and to get the A+ in the social credit score of their audience. If you could tell me the last time something has gotten this visceral a reaction, I'll give you a cookie, because I legitimately can't remember anything that's getting this amount of hate. And might I reiterate, this gaming company has nothing to do with JK Rowling. They're like fifth cousins to JK, if you could even say it like that. They're just not even directly tied to her, yet they're getting all of her flack. It doesn't track, in my opinion. It doesn't make any sense. How is it possible that you can have absolutely nothing to do with the creator, even denounce their actions, yet still get the heat just because you're playing in their realm in some kind of way? It's crazy to think about, because soon it might be like Minority Report, where, like I mentioned earlier, people will start to make websites tracking creators who do certain things and then go after them, you know? Like, you've been chosen to get taken out by the internet mob. I hope you have the utmost resources to defend yourself against it, because if not, you're probably not going to want to turn your computer on for the day, week, month, or however long they decide to hate you for. Because if you want my thoughts on the whole thing, I think it's stupid. You're not a transphobe if you buy this game and play it, and even enjoy it. I think there's so many other things that go above this into making you a transphobe. This should be on the bottom tier. And I don't like to be that kind of person, but this really does discredit those times when there are legitimate people and actions out there that are transphobic, and this whole outrage is just going to make all of that seem null and void. Or not null and void, but make it not as important, because then you'll have people who can sit there and point and say, oh, you got mad at this game for even associating itself with a transphobic person. How are we going to take anything you say seriously now? That's the way I kind of see this coming down, which is really sad, because there are legitimately transphobic people out there, and they can kind of use this as a shield in a way. It's pathetic, but it's all the excuse they need. But maybe after all this discussion about Harry Potter, you know, you think I'm wrong. You want to Adabra Kedavra and send me to the Shadow Realm with Voldemort. That's fine. Let me know your thoughts on this whole thing, this whole mumbo jumbo in the comments. Subscribe to the channel for more content like this, and I appreciate you spending any time you did watching this video. Thank you. I hope you have an incredible day, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.